we're continuing scenario basic rules for MBT on number 2. And I'm going to try to go a little bit faster now. The previous video I did was a little bit slow because I'm learning and other people are learning as they watch me. So first we have the spotting phase. We have to see which vehicles are spotted. Let's start with these down here. So we have these 3 vehicles at 4BB6, 4BB7, and 4BB8. That's my 3rd platoon. And no one can spot them because they're blocked by these trees. Trees are level 3 or level 4. And the only unit that can possibly see those would be these Russian units, but they're at level 4. So those units are still unspotted. These units on top of the hill over here, they're all spotted. Just see how many we got. Okay, so we have 2 units, but there's some brew up smoke there. Wow, there's a lot of losses there. So there's only 2 tanks at the top of that hill. So I'm going to check the spotting table and see if that smoke affects the spotting. I think it does. Let's see. Here we go. Spotting table. Okay, let's move it over. Okay. So a vehicle base is 20 hexes. None of the vehicles are in cover. We do spot fire, which is +3. And we have brew up smoke, which is +1. So why did it be +1? Why did that make it easier to see? Let me take a pause. Okay, so the brew up is +1 modifier to the spotting range. However, that's an advanced game thing, and that's only for night and limited visibility. So in other words, the brew of smoke, the fire, I guess, makes it easier to see. So the only modifier we have a range of 20, and the unit's fired, spot fire, so they're easily seen by the other units on the hill. Likewise, if we go across the hill to where the Russians are, all the Russian units are seen also. Make sure. So we have 4 in this hex, and we have 1 in that hex. Okay, so those are spotted. That was easy. Now, going down, these 3 units are spotted by that unit and that unit. So they're all spotted. This unit is spotted. The unit behind it is spotted because it's in the first hex of the woods. Well, it's a forest actually, but all right, let's go over here. How about down here? These 3 units, oh no, they're blocked by these woods. So that would be the spotting unit. That hex and that hex are spotted. Let me do the last sight check here. Let's go from here to here. All right, so that unit's definitely spotted. How about that unit? It goes through the hex with the brew up smoke, but the brew up smoke doesn't affect the spotting. So it only hinders armor piercing fire. About this unit is so reciprocally that unit is seen. How about this unit in the woods? Yes, that can be seen by this guy on the bridge, and same thing this other guy in this orchard like hex here. All right, so everybody who is spotted is now marked as being spotted. Excellent. All right. Oh, and these 2 units back here. This unit, I believe, is able to spot those 2 units. Was that grain? Yeah, it would be able to spot. Grain wouldn't hinder the spotting. Okay. So now, so actually I gotta move those as being spotted. They didn't move or fire yet, but they're spotted. So, okay. So next, we got the initiative phase. I believe the initiative phase. No, the command phase. Okay, now it gets interesting. So what commands do we want to give everybody? All right. So these vehicles, 1, 2, 3. These hexes are all going to fire. So I'm going to give them a fire command. Let's go to markers. Okay, that's game pieces. Let's throw some fire commands over here. So those 3 units will be given the fire command. This unit on the bridge will be given a short halt. I'm going to give that a short halt. Fire and move, fire and move. I'll put that command next to it. Let me move this up. There we go. Oops, move it down. There we go. All right. But this first vehicle right here, I'm going to give that a fire command. And that second unit in the woods, I'm going to give that. Well, there's actually 2 units there. I'm going to give one of those a short halt. I'm going to give one of those a short halt. And one of those is going to get fire command. This unit over here in the corner. I'm going to give that unit a move command. Now for the units on top of a hill. These units on top of a hill are outgunned. We have only 2 of them. They're outgunned by the 4 units. Yeah, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. So that's a losing proposition. Okay. I don't know if I want to sacrifice them, if it's worth it. Yeah. I'm going to give them a command. I'm going to give them a move command. I'm going to get them out of there. That's a good place to spot, but it's also a good place to die. These units on this hill, these units, forward units right here. These are going to be given, give them a fire command. And these units, I'm going to give the first 2 units a short halt. And I'm going to give that unit in back a fire command. Oop. And we got 5 units on that hill. Oh, we got these units on the side over here, plus we got our command tracks. Command tracks are going to have the move command. Those units on the side are going to have a move command. Go for that. 3rd platoon over there. All right. So now we're gonna go over here. And what about the units on the hill? 5 units on that hill. I'm going to give them, and see, this is the thing, if we had, these commands would be upside down and wouldn't be known to the opposition here. So I'm going to put myself in that mindset. So I'm going to have 3 of these units. So I'm going to give a move command to this guy. I'm going to give a fire command to 2 units over here. Fire, fire, and then 2 of the units are going to have a short halt. 1, 2. I still didn't put anybody on Overwatch, but that's okay. And that's it for this turn. I gave everybody commands. The initiative phase. I'm going to roll for the Americans first. The Americans are going to get 67, and the Warsaw Pact will be 38. So the Americans have the initiative in this phase, which means they fire first. So I have to find the units that have fire commands. Well, these 3 right here have fire commands. I don't know what that tank is. It's not supposed to be faced that direction here. Move it, pivot, and pivot. Come on, come on. We just do Control Z. It's easier. There we go. Okay, so these guys all have fire commands. So this one. So these 2 units are going to fire at the unit on the bridge. The third one is going to fire at that first tank right there in 2Q3. So let's look up modifiers on the charts. Chart A. Chart A. So range is going to be point blank. It's only 2 hexes. Just double check that, but yeah, up to 6 hexes, it's point blank range. Oops. So it's going to be a base 90. What kind of cover does that bridge give? Let's find out. Does a bridge give any type of cover? Bridge. Cover. None. Okay, so the bridge doesn't give any cover. Let's go back to the combat chart. So no cover. Target's moving, I believe. Yeah, the target was moving. That's how I got off the bridge. So it's going to be -2. The firing unit does not have a short halt. See if there's anything else that affects it. Defensive fire. So we're only having the target moving. That's going to be a -2. So we need a 72 to hit. And for both these vehicles, it's going to be the same thing. 12, that's a hit. and that's going to be on the rear target facing. So the penetration is going to be 110, and the rear target facing is going to be 72 AV, rear target facing 26. So yeah, that's brewed up. Boom. Damage, brewed up. What is that under it? There's something under it. What is that? What do we got? What do we got? Oh, that's the shows that that's a victory point X. So that marker can go away. That. Alt X. Okay. So that this second unit, because its target was that vehicle that's brewed up, it doesn't have a target, so it sacrifices its shot. Now this unit right here wants to fire at that one. So let's check its modifiers. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's still at point blank range. Target moving is -2. We may have cover. So it's going to be -2, and it's in, I believe that's brush or light something. Rubble, maybe light rubble. Let's take a look. So what we got. Oh, okay. So it's not clear. Fire for gully. Crew position rough. I think it's rough. Oh, it's scrub. Scrub is light cover. Okay. So it's going to be -3 to hit. So target move, so it's going to be -3. So 90 -3. Anything else? Okay. I like to give it a fire. Now I did have to change my firing arc. If that makes an effect in this game. Right now we're looking, it needs 63 to hit. Fire. So I also have to move. Yeah. So I got base 63 to hit. Roll. I rolled a 79, so that's a miss. So all these 3 units here have done their command, and I have to flip that marker to its fire side to indicate that they all fired. And I can eliminate that first marker. Okay. So they're done. Now we go over here. Now, if either of these units had been in Overwatch, when those units had fired, I would have had an Overwatch shot over here. But they weren't in Overwatch, so this unit right here is a fire. And I don't believe it's target acquisition in this game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Americans and 181. That's going to be a short range. And the 2 hit. Target size +1. Target moving. Well, target actually fired, but I didn't do it for the other one. So it'll be +1, -2. It's going to be -1. I don't believe the target's in cover. Nope. -1. Okay. And that's it. -1. Okay. So we're looking at 56 to hit. Boom, hits. Okay. So that's going to be a front side shot. So the armor on that particular vehicle is 85, and I rolled 85. So 96 minus 85 is 11. So let's look at the combat effects summary. 11. Basic game. That's a brew up. Close that. So this is brewed up. Let's see, damage. Brewed up. Okay. Americans have been lucky with the initiative. I see now that initiative is very important in this game. Delete. All right. Now, the next hex, I got two different units. One has a fire command and one has a short halt. So now I'm going to announce targets for these two. I can't fire at him anymore because I already fired at him with this tank. And I would have had to announce fire against. So I can't fire at him. But I can have both of them fire. Oh, because it's blocked by the woods. Darn it. Well, the only thing they can see, probably the second hex. So they're both going to fire at that second vehicle right there. I gotta check my line of sight. Ooh. Mainly because I want to see if it goes. Okay, so it goes through two brew up hexes. So that's going to be +1, +2. I'm going to do the one. The first one that's going to be fire is the one that's not at the short halt. So let's do it. So I think that I said the range is 8. Okay. Range of 8 is going to be short range. Let's go. Target size +1. Target moving. Is it moving? No, it doesn't have a move command, so it's not moving. It's not in cover. It is at a short. The firing unit's not at a short halt. It goes through 2 hexes of brewed up smoke, so it's -4 plus -4 +1. It's -3. So it's -3. So you're going at short range, -3. I need a 49 to hit that for the first vehicle. Ooh, and I missed. Now the second vehicle is going to be -3, but then you're going to have the fact that it's at a short halt. So what's the short halt factor for this? So I'm looking at stabilization, SB1. So with the stabilization 1, it's just going to be -1, so it's going to be -4. So I need a 42 to hit. And miss, so they both fired and missed. Boom. So the fire command I can remove because it already fired. This right here, I want to flip it. So its next command, next turn, it's going to be move. And I think that's it for the American fire phase. Yes, it is. All right. So now I'm going to back off a little bit. Okay. That I can remove because he can't fire. So we have these 2 units in the woods here that can fire. And they're going. So how am I going to separate? How am I going to break that up? Let's see, right here. So the first unit are they both going to fire? So one's going to fire at that tank, and the other unit's going to fire at the other tank. That wood's right here would block if it goes through it, but it doesn't. Right? So the first unit, range 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Range of 5. I believe that's point blank range, considered point blank range for the 72. Yep, point blank range. Any modifiers? There's no target size modifier, no moving modifier, no cover modifiers. Did I give these guys? Are they firing under short? They're not firing under short halt. So it's going to be a straight up point blank range. It's actually a really good shot. Ammo limit, he haze. Yeah. That's a really good shot. They just need a 90 to hit. And they get a 38. And we have to compare the armor factor and the penetration. So the penetration is 108. Arm, where was it? Short range? No, was it? No, that would be at short range. 6, is that within 6 range? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it is. So it'd be 108 against the Americans' front armor. And the Americans' front armor is 100, so that would be only 8 more. So let's check that out. What combat effect does that have? I don't believe that's brewed up. Let's look at the combat effects chart. 8 KO. So it's not brewed up, it's just KO'd. I'm going to mark that with the KO marker. Boom. And that first unit fired. Now the second unit's firing at that vehicle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's point blank range. Basically, it's going to be the same modifiers. I'm going to roll it. That's a hit, and that's also going to be KO'd. Boom. And remove that fire marker. And that's going to need a fire for spotting next turn. It's going to need a fire marker. It's going to have a fire marker. Yep. All right. I have units on top of the hill. Those Russian units, where are they going to fire at? All right. So, well, this first unit has a move marker. And in this group, I have 2 fire markers and 2 short halt markers. I can't fire at anything that's already been fired at. So I am going to try to fire. They're both going to try to fire. No, they're each going to take a vehicle. The first one and the second one. So the first one's going to try to go against the what I call the exposed vehicle, and the second one's going to go against 4-3, the one right next to it. Shit. Not my language. Poop. Oh, did I swear? I'm sorry. I won't be banned from YouTube. I just started playing. Okay, what's the range? Let's check the range. Gonna move it up automatically for me. Here we go. Go back. Okay, here we go. The range is 21. Range is 21. And the vehicle's an A1. So we had 21. That's actually going to be long range. Wow. Okay, long range. So at long range, it's a base 30 to hit. The target's moving, so it's going to be -2. I was giving him move command. If I choose to show it, and I'm going to show it, so it's -2. There's no cover. That's any other. There's brew up smoke, so it's -4. Okay. Long range, -4. So I need 18 to hit. So both of these vehicles are going to need 18 to hit. Nope. And for the second vehicle, nope. So those are both missed. Now, the vehicle with the short halt. Oh boy. Even. So it's 2 vehicles with the short halt. I'm going to do the same thing with them. They're each going to fire at one of the 2 different vehicles. So you're going to be looking at, and that's going to be really hard. So the stabilization for this is 3, which means it's an extra -3. So it's going to be -7. Ouch. Because target moving -2. Brew up smoke -2, -4, and then -3 for the poor stabilization. So 9. So each of these tanks are going to have to roll a 9 or less. Miss. Okay, so everybody up there missed who had a shot. And that's it. That is it for the fire phase. Just send to the board. Okay, so that's it for the fire phase. I can remove these fire markers now. Oop. As soon as I get out of line of sight. Okay. Right click, delete. All right, so that's it for that. So now we're going to go on to the move phase. And he gets to move. So now the Russians move first. So the only ones I have that can move for the Russians, these 2 units over here had a short halt. Yeah, I have to also flip them forward to their move markers to show that they have a move jet. But they did fire. All right, so let's do this. Now they don't actually have to move. They can stay in place. But they were already penalized for it, so they may as well move. No, I don't want to move him. I want to move this one first. The one that's right before it. So its road movement rate is 14. 1, 2. Gets a free spin. 3, 4, 5. 5. I might just stop him right there. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop him right there. And I'm going to mark him with the move. And flip and flip. Right. I can remove the move command. All right, so now for the 2 up here that were short halts. So for the first one, he's going to turn to the left. And 9 divided by 9 and 9. 1/2 of that will be 4.5. Rounded up would be 5. 1, 2, 3. Rotate right. 4, 5. He will be covered by the same move. Also move. And that other unit will be right behind him. Make sure he has a move command. Right click, clone, and move. Okay. So, in the short halts, I can remove those markers. All right. Now, I have 2 more units that had short halts. So I want to check, the thing I want to check right now is on road movement rates and recs. So a couple things. These, well, they use going the road movement rate, so it should be 14. Half the road movement rate is 7, so there wouldn't be an issue. But if I had gone cross country, that 7 would have become a 3.5, and rather than rounding up, it would have been rounded down. That's the first thing. The second thing is these hexes right here, they do, because there's recs on the road, they take away the road movement rate for the entire turn for vehicles that go through them. Not only that, they add 1 because of their brewed up smoke. Third thing is, if you use the road movement rate, you have to face in the direction that the road is going at the end of the turn. So you can't like use the road movement rate, then do a left-hand turn at the very end. All right. So these units, here we go. It's a command track. And it's going to have to use the cross-country rate. And it's going to be 7, but it's going to be 3. So it's probably going to want to avoid these smoky hexes. And it's probably going to want to take a left-hand turn. I can do that because I'm not going to be using the road movement rate. Okay, 1. Oh my goodness gracious. 2. This could be bad. 3. And the vehicle right behind it is going to follow along. And I can remove their move I can remove their command because they already used it. And they keep the fire marker because they fired and moved, and firing is the worst penalty, the worser penalty as far as sighting is concerned. Okay, that may be all for the Russians. I believe it is. Okay, now for the Americans. So this unit at the end has a move command. I don't know why that marker is facing in the wrong direction. There we go. Okay. A move command. It's going cross country. It's going to be in trouble. Move 5, 1, turn. Oops. Turn 2, 3. It's going to go forward. 4. And it's going to stop. And I can flip that marker to move. Excellent. So now that victory point location belongs to the Americans. Since that moved, I can remove its move marker. Next, this unit right here has to go cross country. It can't use the road movement. Well, it can turn into the road and use the road movement rate if it wants. Either way, it's going to be half. If it's cross country, it's going to move 2. And if it's road movement rate, it's going to be a 5. However, because it has stabilization 1, here, because it has stabilization 1, it can actually move 3/4 of its allowed move. So 3/4, 3 times 5 is 15. 15 divided by 4. It can move 3 hexes cross country. Do I want to do that though? I don't think so. I'm gonna have a short halt. Yeah, it's gonna 1. 1. Oh, just had it. 1, 2. Turn left. 3. And that was the short halt unit. So that's going to delete that. No, I do not want to clone you. I want to delete and delete. All right, so this unit right here, I need to put a fire marker on it. Okay. So I need a fire marker. That has a fire marker. And I'll clone one of these fire markers. Okay. So that's it for that. Now these 2 units on top of the hill, which were taking fire. Oops. So they have a cross-country movement rate of 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And the other tank he's with is going to go with him. I'm going to remove that. Delete. Now, one thing you notice, going up or down hills, even if you're going down a hill, you do get +1 penalty. Actually, it's +2. So 1, 2, yeah, 3. Yeah, they'd be right there. Yeah. But that does move them out of sight because they're below the thing. So what happened? Down 2, so it's +2 for the penalty, +1 for the entrance hex. But they're covered by the trees now, so for spawning purposes, I want to mark them with move. Wow, Americans have a lot of units to take care of over here. Let's just clone one of these. Oop. Click, clone. I still have another 5 American vehicles to move. Yay. Flip, fire, small arms. Okay, so those are marked move. Now I'm back here. Okay. These can move 5. That's grain. So let's see the adjustment for the grain. And the adjustment for the grain is crops. Oh, it's just 1 to move. Okay. Easy peasy. At least we're going to move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, shoot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I was making a big mistake here. I've been using the M1, and for this turn, I've been using the M1 data card for the M1 tanks. These aren't actually M1s. These are M60A3s. So, and it would have, and I don't know if it would have made a big difference. Let's take a look. I use the M1A1. Smoke Stabilization's the same. I think the armor level is probably poor. It's 105 to 39. For the 60, it's 48. So the armor's a little bit different. They will brew it up a little bit easier. Not much difference in the gunnery. So it might not have made, oh yeah, it would have made a difference because, well, the stabilization, the chance to hit with, and also the movement's lower, the chance to hit is lower too. Would have made a little difference. So let's mark these as moved. Shoot. Let's put that there. Let's mark that as, let's clone it and move it and mark this guy right here with fire. Okay. So now we got 3 more units over here. Each one of these can move forward 5. Here they go. Move them as a group. How about that? 1, 2, 3. Oops. 4. 5. I'm actually using the road movement right. No, I just entered the road, so I'm going to turn this to left. One with just the first one. And I can do this because he didn't use the road movement right. So he's going to look across that way. That one, I want to look across that way. That one's going to look forward. Okay, so these have moved. I can these markers. Click delete. And I can mark them with move. Clone it. Mark it. And then clone it again. Click clone. Alrighty, so that looks like it for this turn. These units up here, I have to mark fire, so I'll just clone this. Label fired. Okay, that's it. So that's the situation. How many tanks the Americans have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 tanks. The Russians have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the Americans tanks outnumber the Russians 12 to 9. The Russians control 1 victory hex. The Americans control that right there is a combo. They need to control both of those. So the Americans don't control any. But it's going to be easier enough for me to control this hex right here. All right, I hope you enjoy that. We're learning as we go. So if a unit has a short halt marker, you round down. If a unit has a stabilization of 1, you multiply by 3. Whatever rate you're using, multiply by 3, divide by 4, and round down. Brew up smoke doesn't affect sighting. However, if you're in a night environment, which these are all optional rules, but I might as well bring them up now. If you're in a night environment, brew up smoke actually makes it easier to see or reduce visibility. What else? I believe that's it. If you're firing from a short halt, stabilization is a factor. Now you won't see in Panzer, you won't see stabilization. I don't think you'll have any stabilization in Panzer because the technology wasn't there. So, okay. So that's it. Actually, what would have happened, these would have been brewed up. So those all of a sudden brew, those brew up right now. Let's see if I can do that. Cable marker. Go. Because again, these were, I was treating them as M1s. They're not M1s, they're M60s. So this would have brewed up. Damage. Boom. Damage. Boom. So they just spontaneously exploded. There. Okay. I believe that's it. Okay, move. Get everybody marked. So let's just go through the fire phases. So I want to remove all the command markers that may be on the board. So that's it. Okay. Thank you for your patience with me. This is just a learning game. I'm still learning. And I'm trying to teach you as I go while I'm learning myself. So we're learning. We're basically learning together with this right here. I thank you very much. You have a great day. Bye-bye.